Council meeting for July 18th, 2023. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Councilmember Harmon.
Here.
Councilmember Friedman.
Here.
Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Alejandra Gutierrez. She is on, but she is not muted. Councilmember Snedden.
Here.
Councilmember Jordan.
Here.
Mayor Rouse.
Here. And I believe you have some ceremony items to read.
Yes. Item 1, Parks Make Life Better Month, July 2023. And item 2, Employee Recognition Service Award pins.
Alrighty, proclamation about Parks Make Life Better Month, July 2023. Whereas Santa Barbara's 60 parks and facilities, including pools, beaches, hiking trails, gardens, playgrounds, picnic areas, golf course, sports fields and courts, and fitness areas promote health and wellness in the community, improving both physical and mental health. And whereas Santa Barbara's 33,000 plus park and street trees provide shade, beauty, and environmental benefits that include sequestering carbon, reducing energy usage, removing air pollutants, filtering stormwater, and cooling hot city streets. And whereas Parks and Recreation youth programming education activities, including summer camps, after-school sports and childcare, and swim lessons, help thousands of children learn and grow each year. And whereas Parks and Recreation provides invaluable team leadership opportunities, including early career job opportunities, the Job Apprentice Program, the Arts Alliance, and the Youth Council. And whereas Parks and Recreation remains versatile and innovative in facilitating vital services to Santa Barbara through senior services, food distribution, and free programming. Whereas our parks and natural areas ensure ecological preservation, passive open space, and provide a place to connect with nature and recreate outdoors. Now therefore, I, Randy Rouse, by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the city of Santa Barbara, California, do hereby proclaim July 2023 as Parks Make Life Better Month in the city of Santa Barbara and recognize the benefits derived from parks and recreation resources. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Hello, my name is Evelyn Feck, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Santa Barbara Parks and Recreation Commission. I'm incredibly honored to accept this proclamation declaring July as Parks Make Life Better Month. I'm really happy to stand here today and share some important points about our exceptional Parks and Recreation Department. Our dedicated Parks and Recreation staff deeply care about providing excellent spaces for our community members, including families and children. Many community members rely on the programs and places maintained by our department to enhance their quality of life. Exciting summer activities such as summer camps, summer nights, concerts in the park, and special events like Junior Guards Fiesta competition are currently underway. Our department's support extends to community activities like Forester Games, Reef and Run, Night Moves, and Semana Nautica. Let us recognize and celebrate the hard work and commitment of our Parks and Recreation staff in enhancing the quality of life of our community. Together, let's make July a month to appreciate the vital role our parks play in making our lives better. Thank you for this proclamation, and let us continue to enjoy and cherish our parks and recreation spaces throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, very good. Mr. Clerk, you have a second item to read?
Yes. Item 2, Employee Recognition Service Award pins.
Madam Administrator.
Thank you, Mayor Rouse. I'd like to recognize staff service anniversaries for the month of July. With 5 years, Zach Smith, Applications Analyst, Information Technology Department. Heidi Rydell, Assistant Planner, Community Development. Mariah Woods, Records Technician, Community Development. Taylor Berryman, Supervising Engineer, Public Works Department. Melissa Garcia, Property Management Specialist, the Airport Department. With 10 years, Michelle Osborne, Accounting Assistant with the Finance Department. Mike Wilkins, Fleet Services Technician 2, the Public Works Department. Mary Thompson, Library Analyst Coordinator, Laboratory Analyst Coordinator, Public Works Department. With 15 years, we have Carrie Hollowell, Administrative Specialist with the Fire Department. With 25 years, Patrick Henry, the Senior Property Management Specialist, the Waterfront Department, and Council Member Oscar Gutierrez with 5 years. Thank you.
Congratulations. And with that, we'll bring up Patrick Henry. Patrick Henry, Senior Property Management Specialist for 25 years of service. Patrick Henry began his career with the City of Santa Barbara in May of 1992 in the Waterfront Department's Parking Division, progressing to Harbor Operations Assistant, and subsequently excelling in his current role as Senior Property Management Specialist. Patrick has been with the Waterfront Department for 25 years. Over Patrick's career, he has been vital in supporting several areas of operations at the waterfront and is a wealth of historical knowledge. Patrick has tirelessly worked to ensure the safe and efficient management of our waterfront properties, harbor operations, and customer service, thus greatly contributing to the dynamic and vibrant atmosphere that defines our city's waterfront. And throughout his service, Patrick has consistently demonstrated the values of dedication, professionalism, and commitment to community that are the hallmarks of public service. Patrick is a native of the south side of Chicago, moving to Santa Barbara in the summer of 1975, where he lived prior to moving to Solvang in 2015, where he currently resides with his wife and family. During his leisure time, Patrick enjoys a good game of golf and barbecuing with family and friends. Patrick, on behalf of the City Council, your fellow employees, and the Santa Barbara community, it is my pleasure to honor your 25-year work anniversary by thanking you for your many contributions to the city and recognizing your dedicated service to our community. Congratulations, Patrick. Get a little hardware, too.
Thank everybody. I'm going to steal the limelight for a second. So thank you, Mr. Mayor and council members. I had a lot less gray hair 25 years ago and a lot less around the middle. I was given the opportunity of a lifetime to work for the best bunch of people in the city of Santa Barbara at the waterfront. I'm very proud and happy to be a part of that great team that we call the waterfront. And everyone at the waterfront works as a team to pull off all of these great annual events. The 4th of July, the Seafood Festival, Parade of Lights. It takes all of us, every one of us, to make every event happen, and I am very proud to be a part of that team. For 25 years, I've learned from a great bunch of people who help support one another, who ask you, what can I do to help? And that's what you want from your teammates and your friends. It's been an honor to work with all of you, support you, my fellow teammates. A big thank you to my wife, Joan, who's been so supportive for all the events that I've worked, the time I've been away from home, and thanks to all of you who came today to help me celebrate this milestone. Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Eric Friedman, you have something to say?
Mr. Henry, I just, many years ago, I served on the Harbor Commission, and I was just learning about the city and how it worked, and I always appreciated how, when you came forward, you made things easy to understand for us newbies on the commission, and all the work that you did over the years, and during that time when I was on the Harbor Commission, I learned a lot from you and the whole department. But congratulations, and I always remember those years of the Harbor Commission fondly, and the staff was a big part of it, and you too, so congratulations.
All right, thank you very much. With that, we'll go and see if there are changes to the agenda. Madam Administrator, are there changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor Rouse, there are several changes. We are going to pull items 3 and 5 for separate votes. And items 4 and 6, we are pulling and we will agendize at a future meeting.
All right, very good. And I notice, just to give you fair warning, there are a couple of speaker slips on item 4, so we will not be hearing that item today. So, and do we know when we might re-agendize those, Madam Clerk, or Madam Administrator?
Mayor Rouse, we're looking for August 1st.
Okay, very good. So those that are signed up to speak on item 4, it won't be heard today, so. That was Rose Wills and Michael Marzola. Okay, very good. With that, are there any other items that need to be pulled off consent calendar from council? Ms. Sneddon?
Mayor Rouse, just repeating items 3 and 5 to vote separately.
Correct, and we're scheduled to do that, and so we will be doing that. Okay, and are there any requests to pull items, Mr. Clerk, that are online?
There are no hands raised, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, very good, thank you. And do you have more to say, Ms. Sneddon, or? Okay. Good. All right, very good. So I will entertain a motion for the balance of the consent calendar, which does not include 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so the rest would be the balance of the consent calendar, which would be items 7 through 16.
So move.
Moved by Friedman, seconded by Jordan. Mr. Clerk, can we have the vote tally, please?
Yes, and I do have 2 items that I do need to read from the consent calendar.
Oh, you do, don't you?
Yes.
Why did you do that?
So it's item 7, summary vacation of portions of Alisal Road at 444 Las Alturas Road. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara ordering the summary vacation of a portion of public street adjacent to the real property commonly known as 444 Las Alturas Road, APN 019-282-010. And item 8, approving amendments to the records retention policy held by the Human Resources Department, resolution that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara approving a revised records retention schedule, authorization to destroy applicable records pursuant to that schedule, and rescinding resolution number 16-005. And now we have a motion by Councilmember Friedman, seconded by Councilmember Jordan for the balance of the consent calendar, which is items 7 through 16. And we will ask Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez to vote. Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez, how do you vote?
Yes.
And everyone else can vote on their screens.
Motion passes unanimously, thank you. And then we'll go to the, in 4 and 6, 4 and 5 have been eliminated, 4 and 6 have been eliminated from this agenda. We'll go to item 3. Would you read item 3, please?
Mayor Rouse, I believe we'll have general public comment first.
Do we have general public comment on these items, Mr.? I don't have them.
There are no
Oh,
hands
before we do the
raised.
poll items, right. Forgot about our new order of events. Okay, we'll go to general public comment then. Thank you, Madam Administrator, for reminding me of that. Back to the old days. We'll do general public comment for anything that's within the purview of this body, 3 minutes at the dais. Start out with David Crockett Williams. And Mr. Williams, you notice there's a timer right there in front of you to let you know how your time's going.
Thank you.
All right?
I'm here to announce the organization of the American Peace March to the White House from Santa Barbara and other routes arriving on All Saints Day next year, 4 days before Election Day. The purpose is to make sure on Inauguration Day, inside the White House, 2 movies are played. The Sound of Freedom movie, which has started the national movement to finally end child and human trafficking, and the movie called The Lost Century and How to Reclaim It, to end poverty in 20 years. This movie by Dr. Stephen Greer premiered on July 8th following his June 12th Disclosure Project press conference at the Washington, D.C. Press Club, all about finally ending 100 years of illegal government secrecy since Nikola Tesla's time, to liberate the free energy technologies to replace nuclear fossil fuel energy with the zero-point energy technologies such as the N machine built in Santa Barbara in 1979 by Bruce De Palma with the support of Norman Paulson's Sunburst community, which I got mentioned in the U.S. National Energy Strategy Plan in 1998. I'm promoting the American Peace March by encouraging people everywhere to walk around the block for peace during the weekly lunch hour at city halls nationwide. Our issues also include the abolition of nuclear weapons and the redirection of their funding to peaceful uses like free energy technologies with Proposition 1, executive clemency for Leonard Peltier, Dr. Shiva's Truth Freedom Health Movement, appointment of Dr. Joel Wallach as Surgeon General with Longevity Life Sciences for longer life and better health, and the restoration of the great law of peace to the U.S. government system, overlooked for 2 centuries and symbolized by the Santa Barbara Tree of Peace at UCSB. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The next person is Steve Leiter.
I'm Steve Leiter. I've lived here in Santa Barbara 43 years. I've been a commercial real estate broker in town for 38 of those years. And I just want to go on to the record that the last meeting that went on as a marathon, I think you made a hasty decision with long-term implications that never made any discussion by allowing the parklets to be extended through 26. I constantly am showing the big empty boxes that we have at Macy's and Nordstrom's to tenants who say, what's the plan for State Street? And all you did was delay it, and now you got a planning department who's getting pulled 15 different ways. I can't even recall the number of studies that we have engaged in or in process, and they don't know which way is up. And the council is not in harmony with the HLC. Many of these studies are costing a lot of money, and all we're doing is delaying the inevitable. I think some of the suggestions that some of the speakers spoke about is getting more engagement with the tenants and with the landlords. One landlord, Jim Cannell, spoke, but he speaks not just as a property owner, but probably on behalf of 40 tenants. We're not listening to the tenants. There's a lot of traffic, foot traffic on State Street, but if you notice, not very many people are carrying bags, okay? So there's not a lot of shopping going on. I think the fix is already, infrastructure is already in place by just eliminating the planners, and why we have adequate sidewalks that could take this, take the parklets out. And I think Eric Freeman's suggestion of starting someplace is a good idea, in maybe just experimenting in the 500 and 600 block, which occupies, well, 60% of the parklets are there. But don't close all of State Street. It's the only city on the coast that has the main drag closed, and even on Coast Village Road, where you have parklets, you still have traffic. So people like to drive by and see what merchants are where. And under that, we need a story to tell, and we don't have one as a city anymore. And I think what you did the other day was just protracted this inevitable decision and keep it. When is it going to be made? When can we tell a story that we can all buy into? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next speaker is Brian Rosen.
Hello, Mayor and City Council. I'm going to try to make this get complete as I can in the 3 minutes. There's a lot of terrible abuse happening to people that I talk with in the probate system regarding trust and so forth. I want to tell you about my own situation. My mom passed away nearly 2 years ago. We lived in a beautiful house surrounded by undeveloped land that's unlikely to ever be developed. Only one of you has been there, Oscar, who was helping me some years ago very kindly. The trustee won't release the money to us, even though escrow closed quite a while ago, not even the smallest advance on the inheritance. I'm getting a little bit desperate. I took care of my mom for no pay. I've emptied out the house, the yard, etc. I did so much work there for nothing. But they delayed the sale of the house because I had to get an attorney that I owe quite a bit of money to. But they were trying to sell the property for $2.5 million. They used extremely old comparables. All the other real estate agents like Daniel Ensel advocated at $4 million. And then they went to court and they said it was basically a tear down. I have a transcript right here. However, guess what? My attorney objected. It was neither a tear down or a rebuild. It was just needed some paint, and we got their own property inspector to write a statement. All of that. And then the roof was leaking seriously for quite a few years, since 2018, and they wouldn't do anything about it. They refused. We had to go to court, too. The Judge Stern insisted that they restore the roof and cover the roof, and we had all the evidence, and then they had the gall to say, if there's a roof leak problem, we were unaware of it, even though my attorney mentioned there was all kinds of stuff in the court record right in front of the judge. So they were forced basically by the judge to do all the right things. We got $3.7 million. You can look up 6.73 Cold Springs Road. But they just lie through their teeth. It's all verifiable. We did everything in the court, but now they don't want to pay. Maybe it's some kind of revenge scheme. I don't know. We sold it for a decent price instead of 2.5, 3.7, but all the beneficiaries aren't getting a penny. And this trustee apparently he was involved in a referral scheme, and then he dropped his real estate agent like a hot potato as soon as we found out he was a broker from his own attorney revealed that fact. And so now I'm in pretty desperate shape. If any one of you wants to contact the trustee and ask for some kind of little disbursement, it's been almost 2 years since my mom passed away. I don't think this is right. None of my attorney fees are being paid for, even though they did everything I wanted to do. They dragged it on for a year over a premise it was a tear down. They wanted to sell at a low list price. Their real estate agent degraded the property. But I have so much material, if anyone wants to see it, it's black and white. I've been trying to get on the media. Boy, did they ever ignore me. The supervisors, Williams made a phone call for me, or his staff did. So I'm really grateful for the time to tell you. But I'm trying to get Mr. Will Jones, the trustee, to make a disbursement. And if any of you can help. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Graham Martins Sotaro.
Good afternoon. I'm here to continue to ask you to revisit the decision of increasing the marina slip fees during the winter season when it's a safety issue. I thought maybe the water department was here to hear what I have to say, but apparently not anymore. I was born in Santa Barbara in 1979 and have witnessed the continued increase in corruption, exploitation, and gentrification of my town. People from out of town running our administration departments that are established to provide safety and protection no longer do, and instead are used for extortional profiteering like businesses to bring in revenue. The working class is marginalized and treated like second-class citizens. Fiscally profiled, we are not taken seriously and cannot take time away from work to voice the effects of your bureaucracy on our lives. Could you imagine the outrage if they doubled the price of low-income housing and they do not risk their lives and property, we pay taxes on vessels, and live in the rough conditions as mariners do. The 50% increase last year meant instead of having 3 nights, we only get 2 nights, which adds up after week-long storms. And if you work on restoring old vessels so they don't go into the landfill, it gets expensive when you have more than one. Why they are raising the rates of the visitor slips that live out for the working class that live outside of the marina and depend on it for safety. When we trade our lives for work, why should we give up visiting our families and eat less to pay the marina that has more than enough money? By raising the slip rental rate, you are creating inflation while the working class is not paid more for their jobs. Are you giving the employees that work for the waterfront department raises and adding to the separation in the underlying caste system? This is why we're asking that the waterfront department need be audited. We want to know where the money is going. I'll remind you that this country, state, and city belongs to the people, not the bureaucratic establishment that leeches off of it. The problem is all they care about is the financial loss or gain, even if it is not the truth, without considering the effects that are suffering caused to the life they extort from. I can prove everything I'm saying to be true and have a prime example of how the waterfront department operates that demonstrates corruption in the city establishment. Since I do not feel I am taken seriously unless there is money involved, I will present your council with a lawsuit I have against the city as evidence of how they operate. I provided the city attorney with a complaint of the malfeasance of the waterfront department within which they violate multiple coastal commission ordinances to assist in the profiteering scheme of their business associates. I was surprised instead of admitting guilt that the city attorney decided to use lies that have no merit if you look at them logically with common sense in defense of the city's decisions. It's very ironic that the lawsuit is only over a few $1,000s, but my point is you are valuing money over the truth. In fact, my reasoning for this case is based on ethical principles, and I will present it for your consideration.
Thank you. And that's it for speaker slips. Are there any speakers online, Mr. Clerk?
There are no speakers online, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, very good. Now we'll go back to the poll consent items, and would you read item 3, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Item 3, resolution denying the appeal and upholding the decision of the Architectural Board of Review regarding 425 Santa Barbara Street. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara denying the appeal of A. Barry Capello, representing Platform SB LLC, to reverse the Architectural Board of Review's decision approving a multi-unit housing project located at 425 Santa Barbara Street and making the findings supporting the action.
All right, very good. And do we have, do anybody want to speak to this item? All right, may we have a motion on item 3, please?
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Gutierrez,
I second.
second by Gutierrez. All right, may we have the vote tally, please?
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor. Councilmember Harmon, the minutes indicate that you were absent for this vote. Did you review the record of proceedings? You did. Fine. Thank you. Then you can.
Thank you for the clarification, Madam Attorney. All right.
Great. This is a motion by Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez for item 3. Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. And you may all vote.
Item passes 6-1, Sned dissenting. Very good. And Mr. Clerk, can we go to then item 5?
Yes. Item 5, resolution denying the appeal and upholding the decision of the Single Family Design Board regarding 101 Santa Cruz Boulevard. Recommendation that council adopt by reading of title only a resolution of the council of the city of Santa Barbara denying the appeal of Joreen Lopez and Jeffrey Yen to reverse the Single Family Design Board's decision approving a new residence located at 101 Santa Cruz Boulevard and making the findings supporting the action.
All right, very good. Is anyone who wishes to speak to this item? And nobody online to speak to this item?
There are no speakers, Mr. Mayor.
Very good. I'll entertain a motion on this item, please.
Move to approve the item.
Moved by Friedman,
Second.
second by Oscar Gutierrez.
Okay, this is a motion by Councilmember Friedman, seconded by Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez for item 5. Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez, how do you vote?
Yes.
And you may all vote.
And the item passes 6-1, Sneddon dissenting. All right, very good. And with that, we will move to, close the consent item, consent calendar. We'll move to council member committee assignment reports. Any of you have anything to report from your committee assignments? Ms. Sneddon.
Thank you, Mayor Rouse. Just briefly, attended the fabulous 4th of July celebration, last week's concert in the park, and COMB meeting and CCRB meeting.
Thank you. Okay, very good. We will move on then to our administrative calendar. Do we have an item to read there, Mr. Clerk?
We do. This is item 17, noise ordinance update, ordinance introduction, recommendation that council introduce and subsequently adopt by reading of title only an ordinance of the council of the city of Santa Barbara amending the municipal code by amending sections 9.16.030 and 9.16.080 pertaining to noise.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Doimus.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, members of the council. I will do my best to fill the next 2.5 hours with my 2 slides. So we have, council asked for this amendment regarding our noise ordinance. Let me go to the next slide in terms of first, the history of it. We are able to regulate noise ordinance, any disturbances regarding excessive noise within our jurisdiction. It does not conflict with state law. Our noise ordinance is codified under Chapter 9.16 in the municipal code. And in terms of just how we measure violations of the noise, most cities, including the city, we have 2 ways or 2 methods of doing it. We use objective standards like a decibel readings, or we can also identify the noise from the distance from a source, usually a property line. And so that's what we do within our municipal code. Our noise ordinance right now has a period at 10, from 7 a.m. to 10 o'clock where we not allow excessive unreasonable noise coming from loudspeakers, amplified sounds, music, bands playing, DJs, etc. But however, our noise ordinance does contain many exceptions. And what council proposed recently is amending the ordinance to allow for amplified sound from extending the time on New Year's night from 10 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. And this is creates the reason for it is it creates a positive benefit for many reasons. One being that easier process to get a permit. Number 2 is prioritizes resources from people calling the police department. And it's a generally accepted custom to celebrate New Year's late. Originally went to 1 o'clock when we presented to the ordinance committee. But the ordinance committee also mentioned that a lot of times these events wind up around 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. So that's how we fell upon that number. So all we're asking for today is to do an amendment to create an exception in the ordinance to allow for amplified sound, loudspeakers, music to extend on New Year's night, which goes in New Year's Day, to 1:30 a.m. And available for any questions.
Questions for Mr. Doimus? Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So it's to extend it to 1:30. I thought we discussed extending it to 2.
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Gutierrez, we at the ordinance committee, we fell on at 1:30 a.m. But again, it's up to the council if they want to today amend it to 2. That's the prerogative of city council today.
Do you remember me suggesting that? Because I'm now having a hard time. Was the original suggestion 1 a.m. and I extended it to 1:30, or was it 1:30 and I suggested extending it to 2 a.m.?
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Gutierrez, yeah, I do recall it distinctly. So I had it, originally we proposed 1 a.m. in the draft, and then you extended it to 1:30.
Gotcha. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, the logic behind that is because bars' last call is 1:30. That's usually when they shut the music off and turn the lights on and start to escort everyone out of the of the bar. So that was the logic behind my suggestion. Thanks for the reminder.
That is correct. You're welcome.
Mr. Friedman, do you have a,
I was just going to give a comment, but
okay, well, do we have anybody to speak on this item online?
Councilmember, Mayor Pro Tem Alejandra Gutierrez has her hand raised.
Okay. Ms. Gutierrez?
Thank you. So just for clarification, it is, we're proposing for it to extend to 1:30.
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Gutierrez, correct. So for New Year's night, it would go an extra 3.5 hours, so from 10 PM to 1:30 AM.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Snedden?
Thank you, Mayor Rouse. That question prompted me to remember to ask. We talked about it at ordinance, but could you say again the impact to law enforcement when we have different times versus if all of the times are the same across the city?
Sure, correct. Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Snedden, we talked about maybe creating a difference in terms of zones where we would, at 1:30 AM, allow that time to be for the commercial district, and then 10 AM or a different time for residential. But, you know, for that one night, it creates such confusion for the police department. It would be better to have a unified time throughout the whole city, especially it being just one night out of the year.
All right, if there are no further questions and no speakers, Mr. Freeman, comment? No.
I'm going to make the motion.
Oh, okay. Well, does anybody have a comment?
Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem Alejandra Gutierrez's hand is still raised. I'm not sure if that's a new comment or. if
Okay,
it's
Ms.
still-
Gutierrez?
It's a question. Is there anybody from the police department that can answer how much more work will it be to extend it to 1:30 based on how short we are with staff?
Mr. Doimus, do you have any response for that?
I do have a response, Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Gutierrez. The idea is to make it less work, because if you have it at 10 o'clock early, and people will be generally celebrating New Year's starting at, you know, at midnight, this helps because they won't be getting the calls when parties or sounds are going on at midnight, 1 o'clock AM. So by actually, the goal, the desire of this is by actually pushing it out to 1:30, we would be getting actually less work than more work.
So the liability of the city would be less?
It would be
that
less. It would be less, correct.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gutierrez?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, just to comment on Councilmember Alejandra Gutierrez's question. So I've done 2 ride-alongs with the PD on New Year's Eve, and the reason why I did that was because they personally told me that's one of the busiest times of the year for law enforcement. And I can tell you the amount of noise violation calls that they got took them away from more important things that were happening. So as the city attorney just stated, if we extend the time, they're more likely to show up to a more serious call than someone just playing loud music. That's kind of like the logic behind it, because it's such a busy day. Like, yeah, that we were responding to calls every couple of minutes, so.
I have one last question for this, Mr. Doimas.
Go right ahead.
Let's say that we try it and we actually get, the city gets overwhelmed with, since we're going to extend the noise ordinance, so there's going to be more people out and about for a longer period of time. Yes, it's New Year's Eve, I get it. They're still out. Could we come back as council and adjust the time?
Honorable Mayor, Councilmember Gutierrez, yes, I mean, council can always have that option. They have the power to amend and change the ordinance. So if there are issues that come up with this time of 1:30, council can always bring it as an item and do the process all over, meaning go to ordinance committee and city council with a new time and explaining the reasons why.
Thank you.
Very good. Mr. Friedman?
Thank you. So we're ready to do a motion? Any
I
public
believe there's no more discussion.
No public. Okay, perfect. So first, I just appreciate the work that ordinance committee did on this, especially this discussion we just had here at council on the public safety aspect of it, because I know there was some concerns with it. And this is one that that I know some of our partners in the tourism industry and others have been pushing for quite some time to make us comparable to other cities. And so I think based on the conversation today, in terms of making it uniform throughout the city, I'm supportive of moving this forward. And so I'll make a motion to approve the staff recommendation.
Moved by Friedman,
Second.
second by Oscar Gutierrez. And just as a comment, yeah, I think we're responding to conditions rather than trying to control behavior. We're actually, facilitating what, like you said, Mr. Friedman, certain hotels, clubs and whatnot are going to be asking and permits, and they don't really want to be afoul of the law, but those conditions are going to exist. So I think by doing this, we've saved ourselves some work and maybe some angst for the law enforcement agencies. We have a motion and a second on the floor. Does everybody understand the motion? And may we have a vote, please?
Yes, this is a motion by Councilmember Friedman, seconded by Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez to move the staff recommendation, item 17, forward. Mayor Pro Tem Alejandro Gutierrez, how do you vote?
No.
Okay, and we may vote now.
Okay, the motion passes 6-1. Alejandro Gutierrez dissenting. Very good. And with that, let's see, what do we have here? We have the advisory group appointments.
Yes, this is item 18, additional advisory group appointments.
And Mr. Lopez, would you walk us through precisely what we're doing today, since I guess it was a little confusing last time?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So on June 27th, we appointed all the city residents who were on our eligible applicant list. However, there are two SB Unified School District High School students who are county residents who can be appointed. So we have 5 eligible on the list that you all have, and we can make appointments, 2 appointments from those 5 that you see on that list. And we will be taking a vote. So I will do a roll call vote. Again, there are 2 county residents that we can appoint from the 5 that you see. So I'll call each of you out, and if you could list the 2 from that list that you would like to have appointed, we can go from there. Any questions?
Mr. Friedman.
I'm just a little, I thought last time that there was one for each seat, and so the number of applicants that were eligible
No,
matched.
so-
So why is there now 5?
So the direction was we needed to appoint all 6 city residents who were appointed because the makeup of the board has to have a certain amount of city residents on. However, I left out, I failed to see that we could have appointed 2 additional county residents from that list. So that's what we're here to do today, is just to make those 2 additional appointments.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Ms. Snedden.
Yeah, thank you. I think I have also some confusion. So we have incumbents, like there are 4 on here, but now we can only select 2.
Yes.
And I just, what were they as before?
So because they, Mayor Rouse, Councilmember Sten, because they were not listed, they're not city residents, we made the decision to appoint all the city residents who were eligible because we need as many city residents on the board as possible for the minimum qualifications. And so that was the direction on the 27th. And so now we have 2 additional appointments that we can make beyond those 6 city residents that we did on the 27th.
Thank you. And these are, when it says also qualify, does that mean, did they qualify?
They did qualify for the public at large position. However, on the 27th, we did make the motion to move Lucia Camp into that public at large position, and there's only 1 available spot. So they do qualify, but there aren't any open positions for public at large.
Did we fill incumbent positions with new, I guess I'm confused because we're not seeing the whole slate. And I'm confused about why incumbents wouldn't still be in the positions they were
So
in.
they are,
Yeah.
Mayor Rouse, Councilmember Sutton, they termed out this June, and so they needed to reapply for a new appointment. So the incumbent states are just listed for your information so that you can see that they are resident or appointees, but they did term out this June.
Thank you. So they term out at 1 year and 6 months?
Yes, so these appointments were all made at a December hearing. Generally, for the Youth Council, they're only appointed during a June spring recruitment. However, I think at that point, they might have been low, so they did an extra recruitment throughout the year, so the term was only for a year and a half.
Okay, thank you. And then I just want to make sure that I'm understanding, when you say the 5, it's the 5 that are not grayed out.
Exactly. So it's going to be all those in the Unified School District category, so those 5, and we can choose 2 from those 5.
Thank you.
Mr. Jordan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I'm confused. Aren't there people on this list of 4 that were voted at that prior night to appoint them?
No, so the Mayor Rouse, Councilmember Jordan, the direction was to appoint all the city residents who were eligible, which is the dark gray rows that you see. So we did appoint all 6 city residents who were eligible, and you can see that on the
But we didn't
backside
go
as
through
well.
and vote for the incumbents and offer votes for them?
No, we didn't. So we stopped at only appointing the city residents from this list, and so we're back here today because we could have made 2 additional appointments.
Thanks.
Mr. Friedman.
Sorry, I'm a little, my memory from it was I thought we had appointed everybody but one person.
The direction was to appoint city residents from this list. And this is the same list that you saw on the 27th. It's just that those 6 appointees are in dark gray.
So would there be, because what I remember was there was with everybody that applied who was eligible, who had interviewed, there was 10 vacancies, if I'm recalling correctly.
Yes.
And there was 11 applicants. So I'm just trying to understand how there's 10 vacancies and now it seems like there's only 8 we can appoint, whereas I thought last time we could appoint 10 of the 11.
We can only appoint 8 because we can only take 6 Unified School District high school members. You can see on the list there, we can only accept 6 of the eligible, and we do have
Is there a way to
9.
shift any of the other appointments over that we appointed, shift them into a different category so we can accommodate more of these? Because I'd like as many to be eligible to serve who want to serve. Is there a way we can, maybe if we take a 5-minute break, we can look at that and see if there's a way we could shift any of the other ones to different categories so we could accommodate these?
Mayor Rouse, Councilmember Friedman, I would defer to the city attorney on that, on whether or not those categories can be changed.
Not the categories, but the individuals within the categories.
Right, so these individuals only can fit into the Unified School District position. The other positions are very strict in terms of local private high school or local alternative community and continuation high schools. So I'm not sure if those categories can be changed by a council motion or if that would have to be a resolution. at a later
Public
date.
at large are,
That was already filled at the 627 meeting by Lucia Camp.
so I guess just due to the way it's configured, because of the limits on the 6 SB Unified, that was the change. And that's why we thought at the time we might be able to appoint 10, but we can't now that we reviewed the whole. Okay.
Mayor Rouse,
I think
Councilmember
it's
Freeman,
making more sense now.
that's correct.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Mr. Gutierrez.
Can I make some nominations now, or should we wait?
Well, are you going to, once again, Mr. Lopez, you're going to kind of run this operation for us, right? Are you going to?
Yes, so I will be, Mayor Rouse, I'll be taking a roll call vote, and essentially each council
Right.
member will be able
And he
to.
asks us for our nominee. So before we do that, does anybody else have another question or comment about what we're doing here? Okey dokey. Mr. Lopez, if you would please, go ahead and do how you want to proceed doing this.
Yes, so I will list out each council member and mayor, and you will list the 2 names from those 5 eligible county residents. And then at the end, we'll take a final tally of
Okay.
who gets the votes.
Everybody understand the procedure? Please go ahead.
Councilmember Sneddon.
Based purely on incumbency, Amelia Vandermeer and Sagarika Mannion.
Okay, Councilmember Jordan.
Do Mannion and Vandermeer.
Councilmember Harmon.
Mannion and Vandermeer.
Councilmember Friedman.
Also, the same Mannion and Vandermeer.
Councilmember Oscar Gutierrez.
The same Mannion and Vandermeer.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Alejandra Gutierrez.
As well as my colleagues.
And Mayor Rouse.
Yes, Mannion and Vandermeer.
Okay, Mannion and Vandermeer are appointed.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to council member engagements or whatever community staff communications you may have. I was going to mention one thing myself. I was at the Libero for the Graham Nash concert, which was fabulous, but also they were recognized as one of the top 11 most beautiful theaters, live performance theaters in the world. There's only 3 out of the entire United States, and Libero is one of the 3 in the United States, and one of 11 in the entire world, which includes a lot of very amazing historical European theaters and whatnot. So that was pretty impressive. So, Mr. Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We've had a break, so there was a lot that we attended, so I'll try to do this quickly. On the 28th of June, we had a ordinance committee workshop to go over the Hope Fund and how that would operate. So we had a lot of suggestions and a lot of input from the community. So that was, I felt like, was pretty productive. The SB Choral Society had their 75th anniversary at Oak Park, and that was just great to attend and give them a little proclamation on behalf of the city. Met with the community members who are starting to plan the centennial anniversary of the Santa Barbara earthquake. A lot of good people are participating in that. Attended the Foresters game. We're pretty lucky to have such a great team in our community. Attended a lot of meetings having to do with our local homeless, with SB Act and our other partners. And one thing I wanted to note was we did a walk through the 300 and 400 block of State Street, and some of the business owners came out and let us know that they've had so many problems with the homeless that they're starting to arm themselves with non-lethal weapons to protect themselves and their employees and their customers. So it might behoove us to kind of do a little more outreach in those areas and maybe some education to these business owners and employees about non-violent communications. Just a suggestion that maybe PD or someone can go out there and kind of explain how things can be done a little more, peacefully, I guess. Attended a Sister Cities event where Puerto Vallarta citizens came and stayed with us for about a week and got to catch up with them and talk about the issues that they're facing and we're facing, and that was pretty fun. Attended quite a few ribbon cuttings, the birthday honoring the Dalai Lama and the Santa Barbara Tibet Society. Concerts in the park have started, and they were fun. Let's see. Oh, I did the CEC ribbon cutting, which was really fun. Their facility on State Street is pretty impressive, and I'm looking forward to all the great things that's going to come out of that location. Went to a horse show at the showgrounds. That was kind of interesting. There's such a rich horse community here, so it was cool to witness that. Some of these things were canceled. Yeah, there's just so much that's been happening. Went to the artist showcase that was held at the Santa Barbara County Education Office on behalf of Sister Cities, so that was pretty cool. Went to an Eastside Mixer held by the Eastside Library Mixer held by the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Attended a Communified board meeting. Let's see. Met with representatives from the Friends of Friends of State Street. Went to an MLK celebration honoring Rod. I forgot his last name, but he's a very prominent African-American photographer in our community, and it was great to see him honored. Went to a block party on Upper State Street at Your Choice Thai restaurant, which was really cool. I really want to give them some credit for having such a huge event in such a small venue. And did a path cleanup on the east side. Met with members of Strong Town on Saturday and talked over some issues they wanted to run by us. And toured Direct Relief International's headquarters across the street from our airport, and that was really impressive. And yeah, we're really lucky to be able to facilitate that here. And then furthermore, yeah, thanks for the very interesting 5 years of service that I've had so far. Some of you were there from the beginning, and I hope to have another 5 years to serve with you all. So thanks again.
All right, very good. I'm going to announce, as we all know, Brian Bossy, one of our employees, his son was hurt severely, and they're having a benefit fundraiser for him on Saturday, the 22nd. It's going to be at Topa Topa, and I believe it's from 1 to 5 p.m. So I don't know if Brian sent me the invitation. I believe he's circulated around. Anyway, it's for a concert for Cullen. So that would be something that I would certainly encourage everyone to try to attend. And lastly, Ron Lichty was our business manager in the fire department for many years, retired not too long ago, and he just passed away, unfortunately. So I'd like to adjourn the meeting in his honor. And yeah, very tragic. And with that, we are adjourned.